In September 2011, during an NHL game between the Philadelphia Flyers and the Detroit Red Wings, held in London, Ontario, racism truly revealed its ugly head. Amidst the match, a fan from the spectators' lounge threw a banana on the ice that landed right in front of the Flyers winger Wayne Simmons, who is black. This is certainly an example of prejudice or racism in society today, which has rather existed a very long time. Similarly, there are many examples of prejudice throughout the novel Frankenstein, written by Mary Shelley. The primary instance of prejudice in the novel is the fact that the monster is wrongfully judged based on his hideous and grotesque appearance. People are led into believing that he is dangerous and vicious and that he would likely inflict harm upon others. In reality, however, this is not true, because in the beginning, the monster himself is quite benevolent and warm-hearted, with gentle impulses, and he doesn't bear any bad intentions towards anyone. An example from the novel that portrays this lies in chapter 16, when the monster narrates to his creator Frankenstein that while on his way to Geneva in his quest for him, he had saved a little girl from drowning in a river, but was perceived by her guardian as trying to attack her and was then shot with a gun in the shoulder. The kind of behavior that the monster is subjected to by humans relates to many of the prejudices prevalent in the media sphere. The most prominent example amongst them is the racism against the African Americans, or blacks, in the United States of America. Since long, the blacks have been faced with various forms of discrimination, including stereotyping, segregation, as well as lampooning in different forms. Family Guy, an animated American comedy TV series, for example, often portrays racist jokes against African Americans in many of its episodes. For instance, in episode number 87, an African American character is shown getting beaten up by a robotic policeman who refers to him as a minority suspect and accuses him of possessing a gun, although, in reality, he's completely innocent and has no intention of harming anyone. This relates to the monster's own situation in Frankenstein, wherein he also similarly faces discrimination or prejudice based on his appearance. Likewise, Tim Burton's film Edward Scissorhands, an American romantic fantasy film, is also another such example from the media sphere. It shows the story of an artificial man named Edward, an unfinished creation by a scientist who possesses scissors in place of his hands. The creature himself is plaintive and benevolent, but faces problems being accepted into society. He is misconceived for his extremely grotesque appearance, and people are led into believing that he is dangerous and likely to inflict harm upon others. The secondary instance of prejudice in Frankenstein occurs when Elizabeth Lavenza, the adopted cousin sister of Frankenstein, upon not receiving any communication from him for several months, assumes that he perhaps loves another woman and doesn't want to marry her anymore. Her supposition, however, is not true, because Frankenstein loves no other woman but Elizabeth, and the only reason why he couldn't contact her for so long was that he had been busy dealing with the monster. This example can be related to the story of Thomas Alva Edison regarding his school education as a young child. Edison was a famous American inventor and businessman, known for his invention of the electric light bulb. However, when he was a young child, he was very curious and used to ask too many questions. This led his teacher, G.B. Engel, into believing that he was a dumb student who just couldn't learn, and after 3 months of school, he called Edison addled, meaning confused or muddled. This is truly an evident example of prejudice, since his teacher, upon noticing Edison's extreme curiosity, assumed that he was stupid or dull, when in fact he was misunderstood, as he later went on to become one of the greatest inventors in the history of mankind. Therefore, in conclusion, the theme of prejudice seems to be very prevalent in the novel Frankenstein, written by Mary Shelley, as well as in various forms throughout the media sphere.